Now, let me show you first, and again, this is instructional only. The eyes, for instance, and let's just take a study of one of these. Use this little guy here on the back, for instance. You'll notice the eyes here, they are approximately 1/3 from the top of the head. All right, and what you normally do is you put sort of a half circle, I don't know what you call it, sort of a curve, a concave curve, about 1/3 of the way down from the top of the head. That's where you'll know to locate the eyes, okay? You divide the head then in the middle, like this, with this line. Just straight down the middle, put a line. All right, this is a good thing because this helps you get everything in order. The biggest problem most people have in painting portraits or figure work is they get things out of proportion because they don't have some guidelines to follow. Well, these are some good guidelines for you to follow. Now then, the nose and the ears and the mouth all have a specific purpose and a place where they line up. Now, if you take one of your photographs, and I've got some others here that I'll show you that are a little bit more specific, but if I drew a straight line down here, of course, now his face is a little angled. I'll have one in a minute here to show you, but it's the same principle. It goes right through here. Now look at the nose. The outer edge of the nose, if you drew a straight line up, following the angle of the body right there, notice something. Where does the outer edge of the nose line up with the red? Line up right inside the eye. So here's the point. Yes, some people's eyes are a little closer, some are a little further apart. When you put the eyes in here, you usually just shade in a little socket. You don't have to worry about a big eye, but you just sort of put the eye right there. Right there. You just sort of shade in where the socket goes. This just kind of give you a brief idea. Okay. Now, when you put your nose in here and you've got your little indentations, you come down approximately, now everyone's different. Your children, for instance, are a little shorter. All their features are closer together and a little shorter. An older person's face is going to have a little bit more length to things. You have someone like this person here, there's going to be a longer distance because everything has grown up a little bit bigger. So there's a whole big difference between doing children and men and women even. That everyone's got a little different effect. But the concept and the technical aspect are the same. So for instance, when you finally establish the length of a person's nose, which is going to vary from person to person, start with sort of the center of the nose with a little round shape like this. That will be the very tip or the end of the nose, okay? That's what that will signify. And this is the way we begin. We have to learn with sort of basic drawing skills. Then, on each side of that, you put the little area there, the nostril, and that's the part that we will focus on. And if you draw a straight line up, that's where your nostril, you decide how wide they are. Okay? For instance, if the eyes are a little wider apart, generally speaking, your nostrils will go out to fit that person's eye. Look, if I ran a line following the contour of his body, see the outer nostril goes right into the inner edge of the eye, right where the eye ends, right in that area is where it will end. You don't want the nostril to end way out here where it's in the middle of the eye. Then you'll have a huge nose that won't work. Okay? This is how you proportion an individual person. So I'll give you the basic technical aspects of painting. So whether it's a child, a man, or a woman, or whatever it is, you'll know that if their eyes are far apart, wherever their nostrils are, that's, how you can tell. You line up just like this. All right, so now you have that established. You know exactly now how wide to pull the nostrils out. Now, when you do the mouth, this is one thing that gets people in trouble all the time. Everyone has a little different length to this section right here beneath the nose. And you got this little dip right there. And by the way, I'm not a scientist or doctor or medical person. I don't know all the names of all the little things in the body. But here's the way it works. Now, when you put the mouth in here, okay, keep in mind you've got your eyes here. Right? And it'll be kind of right in the center like that. Then when you put the mouth in here, this is where a lot of people get in trouble. Sometimes they make the mouth way out too far. Now, here's the way you judge this. You take a line and you draw it straight up again. The end of the mouth should never, ever go any further than the middle of the eye. So if you're drawing or painting a person, and it doesn't matter again if it's a child, a grown-up or whatever, you'll always know that that proportion for that child is going to end because there's a technical way. It's all standard in everybody. If I drew a straight line up there, down through the middle of this eye, the edge of the mouth should be about right there. That side, up there, like that. Okay? And you see how that works? That will be the edge or the end of the mouth. Don't get it too big, and vice versa. Don't get it too small. If you pull in the edges too small, I guarantee you your person will look out of proportion. Everybody will wonder what in the world is going on, okay? Then, of course, you have to put in the rest of the lips, and that is always sort of a situation where you just have to kind of ad-lib. Everyone, again, has different lips, but now the good news is you have all of the proportions in place, so you don't have to worry about whether it's correct or not. You got the length of the nose right based on the feature of the person. You got the width of the nostrils right based on drawing a line up, being right inside the teardrop part of the eye, where the eye ends right in there, okay? That's the first thing. And then the next thing, you've got the width between the nose and the mouth started, which will vary from person to person. You just have to look and see how it is with each person. And then you have got the width of the mouth based on where it lines up with the center of the eye. So now your eyes, nose, and mouth are all proportioned. What about the rest of the body? How do you think about the ears, for instance? Well, here's an interesting thing to think about the ears. Now, let me see if I can find one here that's a little bit more specific, that's more straight on perhaps. I like this guy here. But here's the good news about ears. When you put the ears on, now see his face is angled like this, okay? The ears should go to the bottom. If you drew a straight line around the bottom of my face, okay, all the way across, the bottom of the ear lobe will line up with the bottom of the nose. Okay? Now this almost always, in just a rough sketch like this, looks a little exaggerated. All right? But it's the truth. Just think about it, and you can go get somebody and you're a family there and look at their face. You'll find out that the ear, when it comes down like this, the bottom of the earlobe does not go any below the edge of the nose, the bottom of the nose. And another thing here, if you drew a line around the face, let's see if we can find some ears here. Okay, like if I drew a line across his body here, or his head, that's in relation to the shape, notice the ear. Okay? And we're not looking at a face that's straight, so we've got to follow the angle of the head. All right? Now, look where the top of the ear comes across. All right? The top of the ear, in most all cases, and if you look here, look at all of these, will come to the top or somewhere around the top of the eye. So if I ran a line across here, that's about where my ear. So you see the length of the ear is based on where about the top of the eyebrows, or the top of the eyes, and the base or the bottom of the nose. That will give you the general basic shape of the ear. The other side will be done the same way. Now, that's exactly how you proportion a person when you're getting ready to paint them.